Yo, what's going on, guys? In today's video I want to show you what is probably the most popular strategy right now to farm Flame Elementium in Torchlight Infinite. A lot of people already made video about it, but to be honest still a lot of people don't know about it, so I figured I'm also gonna share it with you. So, in Torchlight Infinite there is not that many things that you can customize in terms of your strategy. It's not like Path of Exile where you can choose your Atlas tree, your scarabs, maps choice, and so on. You're mostly gonna just focus on your cards choice. So here is basically the deck I am going for with this strategy. And most of these cards actually don't matter that much because this combo mainly cares about 3 cards. So the first card is the Sharp. What is it gonna make is so that the 6 affix rare gear dropped has a chance to drop as Flame Fuel instead. So 84% chance if it has 5 stars. And it has Inheritance 5, which basically means effect of this card is gonna last for 6 maps. Some people might think that it only lasts for 5 maps, but it actually, Inheritance doesn't count the map that this card appears on. So for example in here, I have Shop in here, so basically it's gonna affect this map and the next 5. Obviously the Chaos Invasion attempts, basically you only have 5 attempts, but there is also a card like this that sometimes appears. Stage Chaos Invitation attempt cost -1, which basically means when you're gonna do this map, you're not gonna lose 1 attempt. So if you're gonna do this map, then you're gonna do like, let's say 4 other ones, then you're gonna do this, and then you're gonna do one another. Technically it's gonna last 6 maps. Okay, so this is the first part of the combo. Basically you're gonna want as many 6 mod rare items so that they can be converted into Flame Fuel. And Flame Fuel, in case you don't know, it's things like Flame Sand, and Flame Elementium is the highest tier of the Flame Fuel. So the second part of this combo, like I said, most of the time when you're gonna get 6 affixed rare, it's gonna be converted into things like Flame Sand, not the actual Flame Elementium. So you're gonna want to use Generous, which basically gives you 14% chance that it's the Flame Fuel is gonna be upgraded. So basically instead of Flame Sand or some other ones, it's gonna be Flame Fuel. But it only has Inheritance 2, so it's gonna last for 3 maps, counting this one. So you're gonna want to use it towards the end of the cycle. And the last part of this combo is this one. Magnanimous, I don't know how to read it, 42% chance for rare monsters to drop 1 more 6 affix rare gear, which basically means you're gonna want to stack as many rare monsters in your maps so that these monsters are gonna drop 6 more mod rare items, and they are gonna be converted into Flame Fuel, and that Flame Fuel is gonna have a high chance to be Flame Elementium. So if you're gonna use this, then obviously you want to stack as many rare monsters as possible. So the other cards are just this. Basically 7 additional rare monsters, 7 additional rare and normal monsters, and here 5 additional rare monsters and 5 magic, and all of them have Inheritance 5. So you can see here it's 5, 5 and 5. So these are the secondary cards. And then everything else doesn't matter too much, you can go for whatever you want, but what I like to go for is just additional drops and rarity. Basically, drops is just gonna overall give you more items, and drop rarity actually increases the chance that just normal items are gonna be 6 mod rare items, so again more Flame Elementium. And here basically the same thing, but just for drops without rarity. And the last 2 cards I went for are Honest and Reserved. Honest because it just gives you additional Chaos Invitation attempts. So for example, you can use it at the beginning of the cycle, and basically more of your maps are gonna be affected by the Inheritance for other cards. It gives you additional minus 25% drops, but most of the time you're gonna use it at the beginning of the cycle anyway, so it's gonna affect the maps that you don't care that much about their loot anyway. So the maps that you care mostly about are the ones at the end of the cycle. So, and the last one is reserved. So this is basically a fail-safe. If you start the cycle and let's say you have only one of these 3 cards, but you have reserved, then you can go for it, and you maybe are gonna be lucky and you're gonna get additional 2 that you don't have. But obviously it also removes one of the cards, so it is a bit of a gamble. It can remove the one that you already have. So if you like using it, go for it. If not, don't go for it. I actually like it, so I am using it right now. The other options you can go for are maybe the embers. This is not gonna really stack well with the chance to get a flame fuel, but in case you don't get these 3 cards, then I guess instead you can go for some additional embers. And also the rarity is pretty nice. It's gonna just increase the chance that you're gonna get the rare items, so more of the 6 mod items for where is it, for this card. PT is decent for additional bosses if you like bossing, and the other 2 tag card types are also decent, but personally I don't like them. I mostly prefer this one just for additional free trade cards. This one gives you 3 additional confusion cards, which are the one-time use cards, so the ones that don't have inheritance, so it's not super great, and just is gonna awaken some of the cards, but it's also gonna remove one of them from the plane, and the one that it awakens is random, so it's not super great. In case you don't know what awakens means, basically some of the cards can be awakened. For example, here I have Magnanimous awakened, so it has 66% chance for rare monsters to drop 6 mod items instead of normally it would have 42. And for example, for Sharp, it actually changes behavior completely. Normally it has 6 mod rare items have 84% chance to become flame fuel, and here I actually have the awakened one. Now instead it gives 33%, so lower chance, but for every single rare item, so it doesn't have to be 6 mod. So if you get awakened Sharp, you would completely change your strategy. Instead of going for 6 mod items, you would just go straight up for drops and rarity just to get as many rare items as possible. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you an example of a cycle, so you can see what you should expect from just farming this strategy. So here is not a perfect one. I have 5 attempts and I have 2 parts of the combo. So the Sharp for 6 mod rare items are gonna drop as a flame fuel, and here flame fuel has a chance to be upgraded. So I don't have anywhere the Magnanimous, which will make the rare monster drop rare items, 6 mod rare items. So it's not perfect, but it's still pretty decent. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna start with this one for 7 additional rare monsters. Then I'm gonna go for Sharp, and then Generous. Again, always I'm aiming for Generous to be the one when I have 3 remaining attempts, so it's gonna affect the last remaining ones. Then I'm gonna go for Desire for additional drops and Gallery of the Moon for additional rare monster. This time I don't care like crazy that much about the rare monsters because I don't have the Magnanimous. So rare monsters are still gonna increase the amount of rare items drop, but it's not gonna like guarantee that they are gonna drop from them. So let's start with this one so that every map is gonna have a chance to drop flame fuel instead of 6 mod items. And here I'm not gonna use any compasses, just roll for at least 100% quantity. I am gonna start using compasses once I'm gonna reach the Generous. So just roll for 100% plus quantity, and that's it. So the first map is done, and so far no Elementium, but that's, to be honest, to be expected because first map is not affected by that many cards yet. In fact, it's only affected by one card. So now let's move on to the second one. And here I am gonna go for the additional rare monsters. Actually, because I don't have the Magnanimous, I'm gonna go for just additional drops. So the second map is done and still no Elementium, but again, I did not expect to drop any yet. But now we're gonna start using the generous card, so now I should start seeing some Elementium. Obviously it is still RNG, so it's not guaranteed that always you're gonna see Elementium every map, but hopefully now that is going to happen. I'm actually gonna roll for a bit more than that. 120, and now I'm gonna use compasses. And for compasses, you just want additional drops, additional rarity, so that you get more 6 mod items. You can go for additional rare monsters if you have the card that make it so rare monsters drop 6 mod items. But I don't have that one right now, so I'm gonna just go for additional quantity of gear, and let's go for additional flame fuel. So. And I'm not using the best ones, just some decent ones, just so I can show you fair results. So here we have first Elementium, so again that is from map number 3. So that was it from map number 3, but we still have 2 more to go. Now I am gonna go for the additional rare and normal monsters, and the last one is gonna be additional rare and magic monsters. So again, I'm rolling for at least 100% quantity, and I'm gonna go for the same compasses. Obviously you don't have to go for them, but if you have them, then I guess why not. I wish there was some marking so I could know which ones are which, but I just have to remember the positions. And the fourth map, unfortunately, I did not drop any Elementium, but at least I got some compasses. And now the last map is gonna be with additional magic and rare monsters, and here you can see all of the cards affecting this map. So again, rolling for at least 100 quantity, preferably more than that. Maybe 120, 130, and let's go for the same compasses. And let's go. And the last map is done. Unfortunately, this time I did not get additional Elementium. So I just wanted to be fair and just show you that you're not always gonna get like super lucky. Sometimes you're just gonna get 1 Elementium, maybe even 0. And like I mentioned, this was not even the full combo. I was missing 1 additional card for it. But one thing that I also want to mention is that sometimes you're actually gonna drop more than 1 Elementium in 1 stack. Sometimes you're gonna drop 3 or even 10 Elementium in 1 stack. And that's because the card that upgrades Flame Fuel has a chance to upgrade the stack of Flame Dust. So sometimes you drop Flame Dust 10 in stacks, and if that is gonna be upgraded, that's gonna become 10 Flame Elementium. So it is a bit of RNG, but definitely from time to time you are gonna see a full stack of 10 Elementium, and that's gonna be a lot of currency. Before I finish this video, I want to give you last few tips for this strategy. And first one is that when you're gonna do the rotation, so the cycle, and you're gonna reach the remaining 2 or maybe even 1 map, what you can do, instead of run this map in time mark 7, you can actually just swap to time mark 8. This way you're not gonna lose that many keys from time mark 8, but you're gonna get extra loot from doing it at this level of difficulty. Obviously it's gonna be harder, but you're definitely gonna get more loot if you can handle additional difficulty. And another tip is that if you're not gonna get good cards, for example in here I didn't really get anything from the combo. I guess I got Magnanimous, I could run reserved for additional chance to get it, but if I don't get it, then what you can do is you just run the fastest maps. So in this area, it would probably be Arena of the Slaughter. Actually, I'm gonna release the video about all of the maps, which ones are gonna be, which are the smallest, which are the biggest maps. So in this case, you would just run 5 Arena of the Slaughters just so you can reach next cycle. So you basically fish for the best combinations of the cards. And this way you would just run through the map, skip all of the monsters, kill the map boss, and just leave again, just to basically reach a next cycle. And the last tip is basically opposite of that. When you're gonna do, let's say, 4 maps and you are at the last map of the cycle and you don't have any good cards, what you can do is you can just go for basically the biggest maps. Again, instead of Arena of the Slaughter as the last map, you go for something like Gallery of the Moon, because Gallery of the Moon is actually probably in this zone the biggest map, which basically means more monsters. So if you want to skip maps, just go for the smallest maps. If you want to go for the most amount of loot, try to finish with the biggest maps. And it also matters, for example, if you don't really care if you do the order drops first, then rare monsters, you should try to go for the smaller map first. For example, in this zone, this map is actually smaller, this map is bigger, so you would actually start with this map and then go for this map. So always you want to go for the biggest maps later. So yeah, these were basically the last tips I wanted to give you. So that's gonna be it for this video. Thanks for watching and see you next time.